2019, or more specifically, September 2019. So this is the date that my wife and I celebrated our 10th anniversary, and we celebrated this by visiting Tonga with the family. It was my first time back in about 13 years, and we were only there for like 8 days, and not even halfway into the trip, my wife and I were already trying to think of ways that we can move our family to Tonga to live there. And every time I visit Tonga, you know, it's always a good time. This is where I was born and grew up, but for some reason this trip was just a little bit different. It was quite an emotional connection, this trip, and a return to something a little bit deeper than the usual trips in the past. So while in Tonga, we had this unforgettable moment in Houma. So while visiting the blowholes in the village of Houma, my mum spoke with an elderly man sitting under a tree. He says to my dad, "Ko ke whaki mai ki he fonua o ko tanu ai ho fonua." So in many Pacific cultures, fonua is more than just land. The word fonua is shared across the different Pacific languages. From vanua, whenua, enua, honua, and it means land, but it also means placenta. So then fonua signifies our earliest connection to this earth, to our homeland. And at the time I didn't fully grasp how deeply it resonated until we visited Tofoa, my birthplace, where my own fonua is buried. 19.25. Returning to my birthplace was a moment of quite overwhelming connection. And one of the evenings when I was in Tofoa, I don't know what it was, but I was overcome with quite a lot of emotions, and that night I was just brought to tears. I was crying, I think it was just a realization of where I was, and yeah, I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Maybe it was a realization of the depth of my connection to that place. So after returning back to New Zealand, I immersed myself in anything Tongan, learning Lea Whakatonga, strengthening my ability to speak Tongan, learning Tongan songs, researching history and culture. I wanted to just preserve this feeling of connection, even though our dream of moving to Tonga was put on hold because the lockdowns came in 2020. Alright, it's going to trim this a bit closer to the edge. That's better. Then came a moment of clarity thanks to a cousin and a Zoom call. During a family Zoom call, my cousin Sam showed us some Fangufangu he'd made. And seeing those nose flutes brought back memories. I had grown up with a Fangufangu in the house, though it wasn't something I was particularly drawn to then. But now it was like a missing piece of my connection to Tonga right in front of me. That's when I knew. That's when I was like, I need to make and play Fangufangu. Like we're in lockdown, I have nothing better to do. Sounds good. Just gonna shape it a bit. So ever since 2020, that's been pretty much my path, just making Fangufangu and learning how to play it properly, and it's become a way for me to stay connected to my homeland, my family, my culture, and this instrument that I grew up around but never really paid much attention has become something pretty deeply meaningful, something that ties me to my heritage and something that I'll continue to learn about.